So guys, I want to share another recipe because today is all about cooking and I just want to share with you guys. Rice I'm making for Thanksgiving dinner is I'm using wild rice. So we like to use wild rice at Thanksgiving, and I'm using the dainty long grain wild rice. I have two package and I'm gonna open it and show you guys. It's just like regular rice, but it's actually a rice with some long grain of like these darker one. It's so healthy for you, just like brown rice. It's very healthy for you. So I'm gonna pour this both bags, and when back home, I remember when we see something like this in the rice, we will pick them out. But guys, these ones are good and healthy for you because it's wild rice. So I'm gonna wash these clean until I get out all the starchiness from the rice out. And this is so I'm gonna wash it and cook it and just add a few little ingredients to make it flavorful, and that's all that it takes. I have my rice washed and in the pot. And I'm gonna add some water. I'm gonna turn my stove on. So in goes the water. You want just about that amount to cover the rice. And I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt for flavor. And I'm just cooking it like when you're cooking regular rice. And I'm gonna take it down just before it gets soft, like with a nice grain. And I will show you guys the simplest ingredients I'm adding to this rice, and it's gonna be so flavorful. So here are my ingredients for the rice, and like I said, I'm making a simple rice. I have two cloves of garlic. I have 1 shallot, a nice size. I have some mini non-GMO sweet peppers, and I have 2 reds. I have mixture of different colors, so I'm gonna add those to the rice. That's all I'm adding. I'm gonna add some salt, black pepper, and some dry Italian seasoning. And so I'm gonna cut these up while the rice is cooking, and I will show you guys how I put it together. Guys, this is how I'm cutting the pepper. I'm just making tiny strips with them, and these peppers are nice and crunchy. They're mini sweet peppers. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the shallot the same length with those, and I'm just gonna quickly saute them in some butter, and that's all I'm gonna be doing to them. I'm also adding some cilantro at the end of it for garnish. So I'm not gonna really cook the cilantro, but just sprinkle at the top. The rice is done. I like to take it down like this, not too soft, and then I'm gonna strain it and start mixing the other ingredients. So here in my pan, I'm gonna start frying up my ingredients for the rice, and I have 2 tablespoons of butter, and butter is what makes this rice so delicious and nicely flavored. So I have my 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna add in my shallots, and I will put my garlic as well at this point. But what I'm doing with the garlic, I'm gonna grate the garlic because I find it's gonna get dissolved quickly into the dish. I just have to find my grater is right here. So I'm gonna grate my 2 cloves of garlic right in here, and when the garlic infuses in the butter, it makes a beautiful combination for vegetables and for rice or any dish that you're making with garlic butter. So I'm gonna grate all of it. So the shallot and the garlic is cooked. I'm gonna add my peppers now, and that's that nice fall color pepper that I'm putting in, the yellow, orange, and red. This is smelling so great. So I'm gonna give this a stir, and then I'm gonna add some salt in here for flavor and some black pepper. So in here now, this pepper is cooked nicely. I don't want it to get too soft. I need a crunch in there. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and this is the dry Italian seasoning I'm using. So just half a teaspoon. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of oregano. Just wanna mix this up a little. So half a teaspoon of oregano, and that's going to add a nice depth of flavor to this rice, because we're making this vegetable rice to go with the turkey. And half a teaspoon of black pepper, because all this, when we put it into the rice, is going to flavor that rice up nicely. And I'm going to put half a teaspoon of salt. I cook the rice with a little bit of salt, and I'm using salted butter, so I don't want to put too much. So just a half a teaspoon. And this is looking so good and smelling amazing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take all this and put it into the pot with the rice and stir it up, and that's it. It's done. And I'm going to sprinkle my cilantro on top, and that's it for the rice. So let me turn this off. I'm going to put this, and I'll show you guys. I'm going to switch pots here. So I'm just going to take all of this here and nicely put it into the rice. And all that seasoning that I put into that pepper, we're gonna mix that in very well into here. This is smelling so yum. And I'm gonna mix this now with the cilantro right on top, because we don't want to cook that flavor, nice beautiful flavor from that cilantro. And this here is smelling mouth-watering good. So I'm gonna mix this up, and then I'll show you guys when it's done how it looks. But simple, very, very simple, but very delicious and tasty. And that's all I do with my wild rice. I don't put too much into here. So guys, now that the rice is done, I'm just gonna prepare these asparagus to go with the dinner. And I'm just taking out the tough part on the bottom. And this is, I'm cooking this on the stove top, which is so quick and it takes no time. So I'm gonna keep removing the stiff part of the asparagus, and then once I'm cooking them, I'll come back and show you guys how I prepare this. Nice and crunchy, not overcooked. So in this pan, I have a teaspoon of butter. I like to cook up my asparagus in butter. I cut them back in halves because they're a little bit too long for my pan, and I'm just gonna saute them here with butter and garlic. And I have 2 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna grate right over it like that. And you just want to cook these up until the color change from this darkish color green to a nice glossy color green, and then it's all done. When you leave it long on the stove, it tends to get very soft and soggy, and it's not very enjoyable that way. But I like it when it's nice and crunchy and have texture. So this is my 2 cloves of garlic. I'm just gonna quickly add a half a teaspoon of the black pepper, and that's all that we need to add in here. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. That doesn't look like half. Yep. And then I'm gonna just add half a teaspoon of salt. And my dinner is coming down to close to an end now. I'm getting everything done up nicely. So I'm just gonna mix in the garlic well, salt and black pepper. I'm gonna let this cook for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll check it back to see if that's the way I want it or if I need to cook it more. So guys, the asparagus, I add a little drop of water so it wouldn't stick on the bottom. But if you can see now, go closer there, that is nice and glossy and still plump. I'm gonna take it off here now because I don't want it to cook too soft, and this is ready. So everything is coming nicely together. I am almost done. One more thing to go, and dinner should be ready in a few minutes. So guys, my little helper is gonna taste the rice for us and the asparagus, because I don't want to taste everything by myself. By the end of everything, I might not be able to eat my dinner. So Natalie's gonna taste for us and let us know how she liked the wild rice that I made and the asparagus. So Natalie, if you want to taste and let them know, go right ahead. You take a big mouthful, that's okay. Take your time. You don't have
The
to.
rice tastes so good.
You like it?
It's flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
Let me taste this one. Let me taste it. Oh my god, this is so flavorful and amazing.
Is it crunchy? Okay.
Crunchy.
Okay, so you like it? So that's our rice, guys. The wild rice and the asparagus. And what do you want to say?
Happy Thanksgiving. Please like this video and subscribe. Bye for now.
Bye.